The real estate landscape is changing right before our eyes. Interest rates are going up and up, housing price drops are happening every day, and the stock market has been going down. And if you don't know how to get started in real estate investing by now, you need to listen to this podcast. If you're scared about investing, especially during a recession, you need to listen to this podcast. If you want to be inspired and learn how to invest while changing thousands of lives for the better at the same time via affordable housing, you need to listen to this podcast. Welcome to episode 1 of the podcast on investing in affordable housing and real estate. This is where our speakers and I will share our stories with all of you. We want to take the mystery out of the process and inspire you all so that any ordinary person like yourself can do it with the right mindset. You might be thinking, why? 12 to 15 years. 12 to 15 years. That's how long the current wait list is to get an affordable housing unit in the San Diego County. That's a problem you cannot accept. Imagine if you just welcomed your baby to the world and you wanted to move to a home with good schools and low crime for your family. You go and apply for an affordable housing rental, but someone tells you that the wait is 12 to 15 years. That's way too late. You're leaving that kid's fate up to luck instead of giving that child an opportunity. And that's an opportunity they want and rightfully deserve. They need a chance to grow up in an environment where they have a chance to succeed and make an impact on the world. Now just imagine, what if something happens to someone in your family in the future? And your future generation gets something tragic, something uncontrollable. And the only thing that can get them back on their feet is an affordable housing unit so that they can actually get back into it. This is why you need to get started now. Your kid, your grandchild, your great-grandkids, they all depend on it. Our investing strategy is simple. We invest in short-term rentals and we balance that risk out with long-term rentals that are intended to be affordable housing units primarily for social workers, nonprofits, and EMTs. Now, short-term rentals are the reason that my best friends and I became millionaires. Getting started via short-term rentals has changed your lives forever, and we want to help you get started too. Now, you might know short-term rentals referred to as Airbnbs, and these produce a lot of cash flow if you buy it right and you manage it well. And we intend to use all the cash flow from these properties from our Airbnbs to fund our investments in affordable housing. Now, here's why this strategy is so effective for us. By buying properties and turning them into affordable housing units, you actually get more courage to go out and continue investing more. So this is our goal. We wanted to bring other real estate investors here and share with you on how affordable housing can be the perfect diversification method to anyone's portfolio. Why? Because affordable housing is recession-proof. This is because the government will always pay their portion of the rent on time every single month, even if the tenant has lost their jobs. No matter what, they will pay on time no matter what. In the zip code where I live, a 5-bedroom property will rent for about $6,000. But in affordable housing, if your family only makes $3,000 a month, you only have to pay 30% of that of what you make towards rent, which is $900. So if you only had to pay $900 for a house that costs $6,000 to normally rent, that's like hitting the jackpot. And you get to deliver the life-changing news as a landlord by giving that home to someone. Look, I loved helping people. In fact, I've come to the realization that I'm addicted to helping people because I used to be an EMT. I actually would have qualified for low-income housing myself because I started out only making $12 an hour, and I did that for 5 years, all throughout college and into my first year working full-time. Now, I eventually had to leave that job because, why? I wanted to make sure I made enough money for my kids to be growing up in a low-crime neighborhood where I can afford to put them in great schools. Even though it's such a great profession, I had to leave that job because it didn't pay enough. Now, you and I need to make sure that no one else in these giving professions will ever have to make a difficult choice again between staying and choosing to stay in a giving job versus leaving it for a higher paying job just so they can provide a great home for their kids in a low-crime neighborhood with great schools. So I think by now you're thinking like, okay, how do we solve it? Well, we gotta attack it from all angles. It's a big problem. And we gotta do it one unit at a time. Just like, you know how that saying goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So let's take some action right now. Unless you're driving, please look up and Google your local housing department's Housing Choice Voucher Program and identify what the payment standards are for your area by zip code and by number of bedrooms. Again, that is Housing Choice Voucher Program, and you're looking for the payment standards. And if you can't find it online, you go to your local city or county housing department and you find out yourself, because that's what I did, and that's how I found the wait list is currently 12 to 15 years. Now, we're gonna have an exponential amount of impact on the world together. So please subscribe to this podcast if you wanna join me in helping thousands of people every day when we wake up. We're going to learn about so many different ways to make money in real estate so that we can diversify with affordable housing to keep building wealth for our families, our charities, and whatever other causes you care about in the world. I'll leave you with this current goal, which is probably too small, but it's a start for us. If we get to 1,000 long-term rental affordable housing units, and we just have one social worker or one EMT in each one, and they work 8 hours a day, helping approximately one person an hour, we could be helping 8,000 people every day when we wake up. And in this small world of ours, that 8,000 is gonna help another 8,000. And in some point in the future, in this small world of ours, they're gonna help our kids, our grandkids, our great-grandkids when we're not here. And that's the best present we can ever leave with our family, knowing that someone will help them out when they need it the most, even when we're not there physically anymore. So in future episodes, we're gonna bring on folks from real estate investing. We'll bring on folks from the government, just so we can get a good perspective on both sides of the equation between public and private. And man, I had so much fun in this conversation with all of you guys today. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow me on Instagram at Kent__he. That's at Kent__he. Thank you so much for listening, and I can't wait to bring on the next guest for our next episode.